Lord help our souls. Okay. So, listen, so this week, some interesting stories came about, and there were two in particular, because when we do the planning call, just for everybody, we do a planning call without Rob, because we like to get Rob's raw, honest opinion, and usually he's working. So that's why else is included, but we like his raw, honest opinion. But we always go through a bunch of different topics, and we thought these two were very interesting. Even though one of them's a little bit older, it ties into this. And we really have to consider now these days with this whole high value man situation and people saying that they want high value men and men who make over $100,000 and, you know, the $500,000 and millionaires and so forth. If you get a high value man, how do you maybe keep him? Because these two situations we have women who apparently got high value men, but somehow, some way weren't able to keep these men, and now some women are coming to their defense in terms of the situation. So we'll start with actually Rick Ross, because it's the most recent news. Rick Ross and his children's mother, he's got 3 kids. Her name is Brianna Singleton. I'm going to pull it out and show you the picture. It is stated that they finished their custody case this week. And for the 3 kids, she was supposed to get $11,000. Why is this not unlocking? She's supposed to get $11,000 a month times 12. That's $132,000 a year for her 3 children. Well, it was being stated by some people that considering what Rick Ross makes, that's just not enough. So here is this was on the Shade Room. I'm just going to show people the picture so they know. So this is on the Shade Room. See, it says she's entitled to $11,000 per month. I'm also going to read the article, which tells you even more about this story, which we think is very interesting. So this is TMZ. Rick Ross' monthly income revealed as he agrees to 5-figure child support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 figures. Child support per month. There are a lot of women who want to get $300 a month. Okay. She got $11,000. But I digress. So Rick Ross has agreed to pay his ex-girlfriend Brianna Singleton $11,000 per month in child support, according to TMZ. The judge in Rick Ross's paternity case reportedly signed off on his agreement to send monthly child support payments for their 3 kids. The MMG rapper is also on board for additional annual payments of up to $3,000 per child. So in addition to the $11,000 per month, she could get up to another $3,000 per child. You do the math on that, that's $9,000 plus the $132,000, that's $141,000 per year. And then due to needing to pay for extracurricular expenses, once the figure goes past $7,560. So once the figure goes past $7,560, he's got to pay her more money for extracurricular. I guess they're going to go play polo. Documents also reveal Rick Ross's monthly income sits at $585,000, while Singleton brings in $142.
Dollars.
100. Not pounds. She has put American that she US brings in
American US
$142 per month. In addition to a successful rap career, Rose runs his MMG label, owns over a dozen Wingstop restaurants, and recently released a new book, The Perfect Day to Boss Up, which debuted at number 5 on the New York Times weekly bestseller list. In May 2020, Brianna Singleton filed legal documents in Fayette County, Georgia, requesting a hearing for Rick Ross to take a COVID-19 test if he wanted to visit his kids. She claimed Ross hadn't seen his children for 6 months. After he did reach out, she was concerned about his marijuana use and not quarantined during the pandemic. Singleton claimed that despite not being cooperative with DNA testing, Ross made efforts to care for them, such as buying her a Mercedes SUV and depositing money into her bank account for their children. At the time, she was pregnant with their 3rd child, who was expected to be born in September 2020. I'm not even going to read the rest of the article because we've said all we need to say about that. Guys, I just want to get your fresh thoughts on that.
Whew. Well, okay. So yeah, excited to hear what Rob has to say about this. But I will start with the, 11 grand a month. So there's this whole thing where everyone's like, I want to make $10,000 a month. That's kind of like one of those pinnacle goals that people have. Because, they claim, with that I'll be able to pay bills and not really have to per se worry about, saving money and all of that, which it's fair. If you're working hard, you got your job or your business and you're doing what you can and you're earning this money, go for it. For people that think that he should be paying more, I'm very just concerned about what we are doing in society as a whole when we've all agreed that people are deserving of money that they didn't earn. And I know a lot of people are going to come and be like, oh, Carsey, how could you say that? She's raising his kids. And it's like, yeah, but he didn't say he didn't want to pay anything. He's not running from his responsibility.
Right.
He is giving her more than enough money to pay a mortgage on, a $500,000 home, get those kids fed, get them clothed, and, drop the horseback riding, drop the archery and the sword, sword fighting and
water polo
jiu-jitsu by the professionals that work on film sets, and drop all of those extracurricular activities and put the kids in some soccer shoes and let them go play soccer. I think, considering that we do have women out here that are running down men for $300, we're good. You're good, sis.
Yeah, I think it's kind of sad that people think that she should get more. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people see rappers or any kind of artist, and they just figure, oh, you have billions of dollars. Just throw it at your girl and throw it at your kid. He has other people he has to pay for. He has an entourage. He has labels. He has studio time to pay for. Those cars aren't paying for themselves. He has a staff. He has to take care of his business and have another kind of money in case something goes wrong and an NDA. There's things going on that he has to pay for. But people feel that as soon as you have money, you're like a fountain. You just keep on giving, and no matter what a woman asks for, they should be entitled to it. Which is kind of, it's that. The man is stepping up to take care of his kids. Like Carsey said, he's not running away from his responsibility. He wants to be there for his children. Awesome for that. The mother who, I would love to see what she's spending the money on. I know that it should be for the children. For the children. We'll see. It should be for the children.
Yeah, are these kids wearing Burberry, or is she wearing Burberry?
Is she gonna walk around with a Hermes handbag while the poor children are wearing Old Navy? What's going on?
This one's funny to me. Again, my span usually is a lot different. I didn't really take on it until we started talking about it again. I'm gonna look here. We've had many shows where we've discussed ladies out here having kids, trying to get a check, chasing a check, looking for that to tie themselves to that man's income so that he can provide for them no matter what the state of that relationship is. And in the context of that, you should have to provide for your children whether you are with a mama or not. The issue with that sometimes is some of these women make it so difficult to separate who you actually take care of. And this is probably falls into that type of situation. But it's an old saying, it's cheaper to keep her. So sit on that one for a minute, right?
My daddy says that all the time.
It's cheaper to keep her, right?
Please say that.
I'm going to focus on the first 3 words of that article.
That part.
Rick Ross agrees. Rose ain't said shit. He's my friend. He hasn't said nothing. He's not contentious. So that makes me think their relationship is not like toxic. Like he's not going at her. She doesn't seem to be really going at him. She's throwing shade about we smoke too much weed. It's always the guy's fault when the relationship don't work out. We know that, right? We can all agree to that. So he smoked too much and was doing too much. So it was all on Rose. She left him, and you know what? But I would bet you my last dollar if Rose tapped on the door and was like, "Baby, I want to come home," it would be no squabble. You know what I'm saying? So Rick Ross agreed. Whatever, I don't know this woman, I don't know nothing about her, but I can say fairly confidently that like Ross is like, I'd rather pay her $11,000 a month than deal with her. So just sit on that one.
Yeah.
While we're sitting on that one, I'm going to read three. I have, you know, we do research, so I go through the comments, and these particular ones stood out on the article that we had. So this person said, I ain't even going to put their Instagram handle, I ain't going to put them out like that. But this person says, that's not that much, honestly. That's around $3,600 per kid, and only $132,000 a year. Not, first of all, they spelled two wrong, but not two, but they meant to say two. Not too bad when he's a multimillionaire. He got off easy.
He did though.
He
like,
did.
Hold on, let me read the other one before you continue. Who was her lawyer? SpongeBob? Ain't no way a man making millions a year is paying me $11,000. Them percentages ain't presenting. Next comment. $11,000 for 3 kids? I'm sorry. He got too much money to be paying that little amount.
They focusing on the money. Toxic broads, all of them broads are toxic.
Yep, we're focusing on the money.
Focus on the fact that he's not strung out and still tied to her and still having to fight with her. And I'm pretty sure there's a visitation agreement. I'm pretty sure there's like stipulations of all of that. Like, so again, we heard nothing from this man.
Yeah.
He got what he wanted. This was a win for him. Not from the perspective that he got to pay $11,000 a month. I'm pretty sure he's not super thrilled about that. Because I know, I'm pretty sure in his heart, he know $11,000 is not going towards his kids every month. You know what I'm saying? She's living it tough. Talking about she make $142 a month. She's an entrepreneur. She makes money. She does her businesses. But she wanted to leave that completely out of the context of their situation. Like, oh, I can't provide for these kids at all. He needs to do everything. And again, I don't think any man expects his baby mama to play fair in a custody or child support type of situation. You expect her to go for your need. I think that's pretty much any guy, because that's the state of those relationships usually. It depends on how bad it is. Theirs obviously is not so bad that because again, if he wanted to, he could have had his lawyer like, hell no. And they could still be dragging him on for 2 or 3 more years. He could be hiding assets. He could be playing like Dre playing. See, Dre and his wife, they are at war. They ain't no love there no more. It's everything. And again, it's not about the money, I don't think, in these situations. It's still about the tit for tat in toxic relationships that is so like, that's what keeps them going sometimes. It's like you want to leave with the last blow. And then they hit you, and you're like, no, I got to go back in because I got to get one more. And like, it's crazy.
You know what? Yeah. There's a couple of things that stood out in the article that I was reading, and I don't know if you guys heard it. One, the DNA of the children were in question. Yet he was still paying money prior to the court order.
Yeah.
He had bought her clearly a Mercedes SUV, which those are not cheap. And he was putting banking account money in the bank account for the children while she was pregnant with the 3rd child. And again, she stated in the article where she stated the DNA was in question. So clearly they had a relationship that maybe was more of a situationship than a relationship because the DNA was in question. But again, I think for most men who aren't committed to a woman, the DNA should be in question. I know the military automatically makes you take DNA tests. And unless the couple is married. They make you take a DNA test because of the fact that the military has to pay out for children, right? That are being born. So if the children is on the guy on duty or whatever, they're not going to pay out for that. So completely get that. The second part that I didn't like was that she was straight capping. And you're about to hear why I tell you she's straight capping. That woman don't make $142 a month. She is an entrepreneur. She has her own. We dug into her. We went to the website of her clothing line. We are about to play you a clip. She has a whole reality show. She's talking. You'll hear in the clip. So my issue is I just don't. If you're gonna play, I get it. You want to go for the knees. Don't lie, because now it's made you look bad.
Right.
You do not make $142 a month. That is a lie. Your outfits on your website are $69 each. So you're telling me you're only getting 2 sales per month on a very wonderful. We went, we dug, I searched, and most of the items were sold out. Again, you have all these other businesses. You're on a reality show, which we know if you're putting your life out there, you're getting paid by a network. So, girl, stop it. So we're about to listen to her in her own words talk about her reality show and her relationship with Rick Ross. Girl,
my name is Brianna Camille, mother of 5, 2 children from a previous relationship, and 3 children from hip-hop icon Rick Ross. Dating a celebrity would be the lavish lifestyle, of course. The cars, the jewelry, the shopping. Now, there is a downside to this. The women, the headlines, the drama.
I can't believe that girl took the bait. She took the blood test, and I'm the daddy.
You know, I just went through so much through my pregnancy. I went and got a consultation. I'm getting this covered up. Maybe I could have possibly been going through postpartum with Billy. Really don't want to be bothering my kids right now. Rick and I are in a really complicated situation. We're going through this legal battle. It's so public. It's getting messy.
You know it's Father's Day, so.
Oh, God. At the end of the day, the bigger picture is our children. I want him to be involved and share the moments of them growing. But for now, it's time to get back to breathing.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, I didn't know she was, like, there's a lot of stuff I could pull out of them little snippets there, and it just kind of, yeah, it bugs me out a little bit. Like, one thing, here's my advice, women. When you're not with your kid's father anymore, you can't determine how he gets to be daddy. That's not your place. You out of pocket. You out of your lane.
Thank you. Thank you. Exactly.
And so many women only want you to be daddy if you're gonna go down that path of being the daddy that they want you to be, which is honestly usually like a sucker nigga, man. Like,
here's the thing. As a single mother who raised a child, my biggest thing for my daughter's father, I used to say, I hope he grows up before she does, because I never wanted my daughter to see her father in a negative light. Right. I just never wanted that. I think, the daughter's first love is their father. And I didn't want anything imprinting on her that would have been negative. Right. So, in full transparency, I didn't get child support from 8 to now. He started, our relationship got better over the years. Mm-hmm. But when it came to money, no, I was primarily financially responsible for my daughter. But for me, it didn't matter, because it was the relationship that was important. Because I didn't want my daughter ending up on a therapy couch talking about why she's going down these paths with men because of the bad relationship she had with her father. Right. So the thing about what I found interesting about the clip, and that clip can be found on her Instagram page because she's promoting her reality show, was that she was talking about, we have to go through this legal battle, but in the article, she was very clear about the fact that once she was keeping Rick Ross from the kids. I get COVID and the tests and so forth, but she's talking about marijuana and his lifestyle and all of these different things that had nothing to do with being a father. Smoking weed has nothing to do with being able to be an amazing father. I'm talking about putting weed in the baby's face. So what are we talking about? So they don't line up to me. You want Rick Ross to be in your children's life. He was giving you money. He was clearly wanting to see his kid. And again, you started dating a celebrity who's going to be on the road for X amount of times. The kids are now 4, 3, and 1. Where was he going to take these babies? Because guess what? If he's taking the babies, he's taking you. He don't want you. He wants the baby.
And that's crazy.
And at 4, 3, and 1, you are, unfortunately, those babies right now are attached to you. At 10, 12, and 8, it's a very different scenario. But at 4, 3, and 1, I don't know any mother who's just going to be like, yeah, here, take my kids with a nanny and go off, and no one's going to do that. It's unreasonable. So you can't be mad at a man. You chose a high-value man. You chose a celebrity. You had 3 kids with him. You had 2 more. Now you got 5 kids. So, and let's be clear, that $11,000 is going to them up to 2 kids too.
Yep.
Well, I wanted to bring that up because I was like, okay, wait, hold on a minute. Bree, are you contacting the father for these for your 2 other children? Are you collecting from their father? Like, how? Now, this is why the $11K seems like nothing for her, because she's actually trying to raise 5 kids and herself with the $11K. And then in that case, you say, oh, that $11K doesn't seem like enough then for this woman who just finished showing us in the clip her with jewelry, handbags, designer items, and saying this because she's like, well, dating a rapper isn't easy. And it's like, girl, what are you doing right now? First of all, this video, the lawyers are going to use this as evidence against you because this video does not play right for you. And
for your $142 a month you claim to be making.
And exactly. Like,
if she sold her kids school candy bars full time, she'd make more than $142.
Thank you.
Girl,
thank you.
maybe she should just start a GoFundMe page. Like,
Oh, like the
And I want to say this
maybe
too.
a thing for her.
You listen, rappers, anyone that's an artist, anyone that's a creator, they're all eccentric. All of them. No matter what kind of creator, they're kind of weird. So if you expect to date one and never see anything weird or see them smoking marijuana, then you've got to ask yourself how creative they are, because marijuana is a part of many people's lives. They smoke it daily.
Thank
they
you.
function fine.
It has nothing to do with raising kids.
Like, and what she's complaining about, to me, that's like symbolic of a bigger problem where I think women fall susceptible to all of the time. And maybe it's traditional, I don't know how you want to look at it, whatever, but this is how I see it. Women, when you say, I want that man, you have to blend into his life. These women want to get with you and expect you to accommodate their life.
Thank you.
And it's like, why? What's my motivation?
But you want the lifestyle. That's the problem.
Like, so
you
that's
want
what
the
I'm saying.
lifestyle.
You want to get with these celebrities and then expect a celebrity to accommodate to your regular life.
Right.
No. Accommodate to the celebrity life, which is women and all of these other things that you saying you might not necessarily want to go with. Well, guess what? That comes with the Rolex.
Yeah.
Pick a side.
The Weeknd, he just bought like a $70 million house in Hollywood. You expect him to come go live with you now in your 1-bedroom, apartment and drink like, I don't know, like badly made Kool-Aid with no
Or
black
come into
Kool-Aid
a $70 million home and tell him how to run his $70 million lifestyle.
and eat boiled hot dogs. Like, no.
Listen, the 4 of us won't even do that. Much more.
Or Future and them going to the strip club, and you expect him to be like, nah,
I'm straight.
I gotta go home and be with Brianna.
When he could be hanging out with
No, he's going to the strip club with Future. Sorry.
So it is what it is. We God bless her. I think she got, listen, $132,000 a year. That is not shabby. That is in the top 10 percentile of earnings for having babies. I'm sorry. Listen, like Drake said, you weren't with me shooting in the gym. You are not with this man when he is in the studio making music. You're not with this man when he's in business meetings to open up his Wingstops. You're not with this man when he has to deal with the stress of all the responsibility he has for every single employee, that he's responsible for making sure that they have food on the table for their children. I don't think people think about that. It's so easy to look at his money, like you said earlier, and say, well, he's got all this money. He also has the responsibility of making sure he pays other people who can put food in their kids' mouths.
And real quick, man, like if we flip the roles, if this was Kenneth Perry suing Nicki Minaj for child support,
outrageous.
they'd be like,
That
is too much. He's a grown man. And all this other stuff.
Yeah.
okay.
But she capping out here, but she makes $142 a month with a whole,
you know what?
whole business and a whole reality show and a whole.
When you're gonna lie, make sure that you've covered your tracks, because the world is very small and it's very easy to find out when you are lying. And people that have a website with e-commerce have a reality show and are literally glam all day are making more than $142 a month. Even someone on the system is making more than $142 a month.
The homeless person at the corner of Whole Foods is making more than $142 a month, sis. Stop.
Hey, really, and like they talk about her lawyers. Her lawyers are excellent. They were able to get her income declared at $142 a month.
Also, and Rick Ross had to pay her $25,000 lawyer fee. So all of this is, he paid her lawyer fee of $20,000. That wasn't in that article, but I read like several articles for the show. So she had to pay $25,000 for her lawyers and everything else. And again, let's not forget, the DNA was in question, and he was still putting money in her bank account and giving her a lifestyle. So unfortunately, the lifestyle's cut off. Baby girl, enjoy your $130,000 a year for the next, basically 18, 19, could be 20 years. Because it is what it is.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
I mean,
and we're gonna reset the room.
Yes, this is not your typical girl talk. Today's topic is, Bish, you ain't getting my money. And we are talking about it from, even though we're looking at celebrity perspectives, this is hitting home for all of you, because at some point you've probably been through this experience yourself. If you have, weigh in. We want to hear from you. Give us a comment in the box there. Give us, some of your knowledge in the subject. Also, you can join us live. Hit the join us live button. Yeah, request to join us live. And yeah, we want to hear what you have to say. So don't be camera shy. We're going to move on to our next topic, Toshiba.
So here's the thing. I think anybody in a relationship should protect themselves.
Absolutely.
Even more so for people with money. If I came into a relationship with a man and that man is worth $20 million, I expect everybody in that man's life, when he says, I've met Toshiba, I am in love with her, I want to marry her, I want to live with her, whatever the case might be, that they're going to say, that sounds great. But as of the title of our other show, F Your Feelings, go make that woman sign a cohabitation agreement and a prenup before y'all get married, because the whole point is people want to protect their assets.
That part.
So recently, Steven Jackson, if you don't know Steven Jackson, he is a basketball player. Rob can tell you all about him. But he don't play. So it came up that years ago, he had a fiance that he left at the altar. And we mean
literally.
They were there. They had over 500 guests that were there in Houston. Yep. She was standing there. He was waiting for her to come. Yep. They did the whole thing. And it was found out that despite asking her to sign a prenup, she had not. Up until when she was going to walk down the aisle, no prenup had been signed. Now, I would say at the time, Steven Jackson was probably in the tens of millions, probably even the hundreds of millions by that point.
We overinflate celebrities' income sometimes. Like, they pay tax and stuff.
I get that, but again, for his contracts, I don't care about what the IRS says, but looking at him on paper, he was worth
a few $1 million.
He had money that he had to protect.
He wasn't Kevin Durant coming into the league.
Yeah, right. He had money he had to protect. So he's telling the story, and I thought about it. I thought, it was interesting because we're going to have Stephen basically tell the story in his words in a second.
Right.
He's quite hilarious. Sorry, Radio Regent, you're not responsible for what he has to say. However, I thought it was interesting that I don't think people realize the practicality of relationships. I get the feelings and the love and the ooh-ah, and let me hold your hand and fly away within the sunset. But at the end of the day, a relationship is still a business.
Amen.
That part.
There are still things that need to be done to operate a business.
Yep.
And you don't go into someone else's business and dictate to them how they should run their business. Like, that's just not how it works. So if you are in a relationship with a person, man or woman, you know, because we, you know, if you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, when Candy married Todd, there was a whole thing about a prenup and all the things that go to that. I don't care, man or woman, if you have a significant amount of assets, love or not, I think it is important to protect your assets. Now, if you guys are building from the ground up, then listen, if you guys break up in 10, 15 years, that's a 50-50 split. You guys built together.
Right.
But you can't, you know, when you come in and someone's worth tens of millions,
yeah, I
think it's unrealistic for you to think that that person is just going to go on feelings and not business. So Stephen is going to say in his own words, and then I want us to really, and especially Rob, because again, you've been in that, you know, professional ball world, to talk about what the hell. That's Stephen.
And then my nanny come back in there with a spook look on her face, like she still like she pulled me to the side and she still ain't signed it. Oh, I ain't getting married. Steph was like, she ain't signed a prenup. What we even here for? I'm like, yeah, dog, I ain't doing it. The preacher steps up. He's like, hold on. He say, now hold on. I know you love this girl. Don't make a drastic decision. I think you should just let God handle it. I say, huh? I think you should just let God handle it. Me, as a pastor, I don't believe in prenups. Nah, I know why she was fighting for you. You don't believe in prenups. Nah, it all makes sense. I ain't getting married. Damn what you believe in. I put everything in God's hand. And God is telling me to put the pen in her hand and make her sign this goddamn prenup. That's what God's telling me. So God's telling me and you two different things, partner.
I hope he said it exactly like that.
He did. Hold on. So there's a second part. There's a second part.
There's a second part. Hold on.
And he did. He said exactly that.
I was turned up. I'm talking about, dog, this nigga stuff my Marbury is crazy, dog. Soon as we get to downstairs, he already in the DJ booth. As people walk in, guess what's the first song they play? She gives me money when I'm in need. And she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, yeah, she's a gold digger. Way over time. That's good to me. Oh, dog. You know, I'm going to keep it all 1,000, child. After we had party at the hotel, me and all my partners getting ready to go out that night. Two of her main squeezes that was there with her was with us that night. And I'm going to keep it funky. I downed one of them.
Yeah, that's not about par for the course.
There you have it.
Like, you know what's crazy though? Like, to me, again, what I take out of, like, I know my perspectives be wild sometimes. That's why I was like, I hope he said it exactly like that. So when the pastor was saying, like, don't make a drastic decision, why isn't the drastic decision her not signing the prenup? Why isn't that considered the drastic decision?
Not signing
Why
the
isn't
prenup.
that considered the drastic decision? To say, because again, he's saying for months she was saying she was going to sign it. So she wasn't even willing to have the conversation of, right, I don't want to do this. I feel like you're making me do this. I don't think this is in my best interest, whatever the hell she is. Because that conversation's got to reveal a little bit about what you got going on.
Yeah.
Because there's no way, like, and it's always, oh, the women know if you love it. Man, love ain't got nothing to do with it. Because it doesn't say, because you trying to cut me off.
No, sorry, I'm like, no, but I'm saying,
it doesn't say, I don't take care of you if we separate even. It's just saying that what was mine before you got here is still going to be mine when you leave.
That's it.
And she had a problem with that part.
Your problem with that.
But and go ahead, Sheba.
No, here was so two things to Rob's point. After he said that he was going to marry her, then she said she wanted to sign it. Here is the thing. If she had signed it at this point and he went through with the marriage and they divorced, her lawyer could have said she did it under duress, and it would have been thrown out. Now, as someone who was going to be part, like I had someone I had dated who had a lot of money, and we were going to live together, and we were going to do a cohabitation agreement, right? So let me be clear for people to understand it. There are two sides of this. There is the man and the woman, the person who has the money and the person who doesn't. They both have lawyers. In order for the agreement to even be drafted, they both have had to agree on both sides to the terms. So nothing is drafted until one lawyer says to the other, my client wants this, the other person says, great, my client is okay with that, then it's drafted to be signed. So she would have been privy to all of the things. It wouldn't have been like she read the prenup and it was a complete surprise and then she had to sign it. Her lawyer and her would have sat down and said, this is what I think is reasonable based on the fact that we're getting married. There are people who do it, for every year that we're married, you get $500,000 or whatever the case may be. So the funny thing is the prenup also ensures that the person who isn't coming in with a lot is covered. It makes sure that should we break up, you don't leave with nothing, but you don't leave with everything.
No, but you're entitled to half of what we make together.
Right. Exactly. Like that's the thing that puzzles me about these couples that are looking at prenups as negative. Prenups have actually been making a lot of divorces better.
Yeah.
When you look at famous Hollywood
it's already laid out.
There's Hollywood couples that are literally making $1 million for every year that they stay in the marriage as a reward to say thank you for not messing up this marriage and making me look like a fool on TMZ.
On the street.
Right. And another thing that I don't understand is that, okay, you don't want to sign the prenup. Why didn't you just talk to him and say, can we revisit the terms of this contract? Like, why? And here's some advice too for people before I forget. If you own a car, girl, a good car, if you are paying a mortgage, if your family has left you with inheritance money, anything like that, and you are planning on getting married, if you are planning on going into a common law relationship, whatever you're doing, go get a prenup, because $200,000 is a lot of money for some people, and they will fight you till the end to get every dip of it when they had nothing to do with you and your grandmother's relationship or you and your father's relationship. So be smart and do it.
But what I want to know is, like, for real, how long did it take to sign a prenup? Because apparently she's had this for 4 months.
That's what I'm saying.
And she kept on coming up with an excuse. Oh, the wedding.
She had enough time to go back and say, let's look this over.
And she still couldn't sign it? How long did it take to make a signature?
Why wasn't that drastic? Like, why wasn't her behavior considered drastic? Why is he the bad guy?
Yeah, why is he the bad guy?
Because he presented her with a contractual piece of paper saying, look, in case we don't work out, it's already laid out.
I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you why. First of all, people romanticize the idea of marriage and relationship. And if you love me, you wouldn't, right? But on the woman's side, if he loved me, he wouldn't. This man loved this woman enough to spend $400,000
on the
wedding.
And her preferred
Thank you. I guarantee you she had a wedding planner. One of her excuses was she's too busy planning the wedding to sign the prenup. Girl, you have a whole wedding planner who's taking you to show you, venues, and you're picking out food and tasting. You're not actually planning a wedding, right? You're participating in making sure you have your dream wedding. Very, very different. I've seen what it takes to plan a wedding. My best friend drove me crazy when she was getting married. The 65 million emails at night and all the things we needed to. She was planning a wedding. When you have a wedding planner, you're participating in planning your wedding. You're actually not planning your wedding. So for me, this idea of this romanticized aspect of love, you know what Rob said to me the other day, which was so funny? He was like, people fail to realize that a committed relationship is boring. It is a boring thing. There is not all the fun and sparks and all of these things that people think it are. It's a practical day-by-day living.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she, again, wanted the glitz and glam, like, oh, homegirl there, Brianna, but didn't want to deal with the realities of what it would take to be a wife to a superstar.
That's it.
Regardless of what people might think about Steven Jackson's career, he is, you know, what was it, like 3% of guys or 1% of guys make the league. He's a superstar to me. Okay? So you
That Netflix money.
thank you. So you want the lifestyle, but you don't want what comes with the lifestyle. And there's certain things that come with a lifestyle like that. And again, a lot of women want to be married, but don't know how to be wives.
That. They want the ceremony, they want the beauty, they want all eyes on them. And then when everyone's gone about their business, now they have to be a wife. And they are like, well, no one's looking at me anymore. Oh, and then you start freaking out. That's crazy.
And
well, sorry, but like, and you know, I think part of that is because, and again, maybe from because I know every man is willingly upfront, openly accepting of the fact that being a husband is a duty.
Right.
It's a job.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think most women are willing to sign on to being a wife as a duty.
I don't think so. Yeah. Being a wife is being. And a lot of time, and being a husband is doing.
Yep.
You know, the masculine does.
They do.
And women embody, women be. So that's the first problem. If you're going into a marriage and you didn't know that before you go into the marriage. Because a lot of people are out here thinking, well, I'm going to do. The woman's like, I'm going to do. And it's like, no, sis, you're going to sign the prenup and you're going to go be a wife while he does the work and brings home the money, brings home the opportunity, brings the best to you so you can continue to be a good wife, be a good mom, you know, be the caretaker for the household and all of that. The women can't expect a man that has literally made $100 million to be like, yeah, that's okay. I guess it's okay if you don't want to sign this prenup. That's fine. Let's just let's just go about our business because Lord knows, you know, you didn't see the times when my ankle was busted and my knee was busted and I had to be ushered off the court and you know, you don't know all about that, but that's okay. We good. No, that's not how it's gonna happen. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that was like I'm wondering like what kind of nut job lets it go that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I would probably have played it similarly. Like I ain't on front. Like she still ain't signed it. Like I'm not about to press her. I'm not about, and again, he done put deposits down. He done spent the bread.
He spent $400,000.
Right, so the money spent with all the planning and all that. He done booked the venues, all of that. So he probably like, wonder if he's really gonna try to like literally walk down the aisle and still not do what I asked, told, which one ever makes you feel more convenient. Or like the man said, I ain't getting married without this. And she really thought she was gonna finesse him.
She tried it.
Okay. And you got embarrassed, girl. Like, that's crazy embarrassing.
Because I'm putting up my hand like I'm in class. The last about 20 seconds of Steven's little monologue there told us all we needed to know. She was not surrounded by people who had her best interest at heart. As he said, two of the women who were in her bridal party went partying with him, and in case you didn't realize when he said chopped her down, what he meant, but he had that night.
And she would have signed the prenup that night.
Right. So here is the thing. A lot of people need to check the people who are in their circle and check the people, because listen, I'm gonna tell you, both of y'all and my other besties would have said, girl, you better, y'all would have taken my hand.
Girl, Sheila, we would force you. Even if we were to knock you out and take your hand and force your hand, you're signing that prenup.
My sisters, my older sisters would have had my hand signing that prenup so quickly. The women she had around her and clearly the pastor, they were enabling her to act in a behavior as if she was entitled, but her girls clearly had ulterior motive.
Absolutely. No. There's a longer form interview of that, and he's talking about his sister was in the bridal party. She said, I had to leave the room.
Yeah,
because the way they was talking in that room,
was
I was about to say something. Yeah. So again, they was put a battery in her back. Girl,
yep, that's it.
You got his baby.
Right in there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Duck right. Yes, break up with him. Break up with him tonight. And he's the people that you have around him.
Right. Yeah, and they left with him. So while she was crying at the altar, now begging him, them girls were changing into their outfits that they had prepared because they.
Baller alert! Like trash, and more trash. It just like he got the bullet pretty much because, like again, these were her. Like he said, her quote unquote girls. These were the women that she would argue with him about when he's like, yo, keep them away from my house and stuff like that. Because it happens like that sometimes. And again, sometimes it roles reverse. Sometimes she'll like be like, yo, like that dude's energy is
off.
Like just please, like you can do what you don't do, but
in the streets, don't bring him in our house.
Don't leave me alone. Leave me alone. You know, and I can take that with a grain of salt. I can pay attention to that. But usually she's right because the people close to you sometimes intuit how other people is angling at things a little bit differently. You know, so I want to say I feel bad for him, but I don't because at the end of the day, it's like it was the best thing that could happen because, again, she went right down. It wasn't even like she, like, you know, when they were getting dressed that morning, you know, and he was like, yo, I'm not getting married one final time. I'm not getting married if you don't sign this prenup. Did she really, like, got that message and was still like, nope. No. I'm going to keep getting dressed, and I'm going to have my dad walk me down the aisle.
I was straight.
And he's not. Again, that's why I think he had to be furious. Like, she really was trying to play with him. Like, he was a man that she could just kick the can down the road and avoid it and just skip on past it. Like he was just like,
listen, you know, that's crazy. The best part is because again, we were doing some research on the show and she came back and said she, you know, years ago, she put some receipts because in, you know, transparency, she was on Love and Hip Hop, not Love and Hip Hop, Love and Basketball Wives, LA. So she was on Basketball Wives LA a few seasons ago. You can Google. I'm not even going to say her name. I don't even know who she wasn't. She was just talking about their past relationship. You know, most of them She was still hanging on to that, talking about that, whatever. Steven already moved on, had a baby, and got a wife, but she was holding on to that. So anyway, she had brought some receipt out where she was like, you know, he's out here saying it was 3 or 4 months. It was only like 2 weeks before the wedding. I don't care if it was 48 hours. Again, Garcia and Telly, my older sisters, and my other besties would have taken my own hand and my wrist and made me sign that thing so quick.
Yes.
You signed that paper.
Listen, the thing is, you want the lifestyle. You want that lifestyle. You want the PJ. You want the jewelry. You want the designer stuff. And all you have to do
sign the bloody paper.
Is sign the paper.
Just sign it.
I got a little caveat to that because I agree exactly what you said. I would just add this little carrot to it too. It's for long-term success, you might want to figure out a way to want that man at least as much as you want that
lifestyle.
These chicks be wanting the lifestyle more than they want the man.
That's true.
And they want the lifestyle or do they want the man?
Yeah, and that's where the gold digger thing comes in because if you loved him, you'd be like, I love this man
She
so
wouldn't
much.
care.
I don't care. I don't
Sign
even
it.
need to see the prenup again.
No, I
Just
need to see it.
sign it.
Where he
Because I
going?
love my life.
Thank you.
This man.
This man.
Thank you. And
So she didn't have a wife's mentality because a
There we
wife's
go.
gonna sign the prenup.
That's it.
listen, we don't got that
White
mentality. Anyway, this man
to
goes,
me.
there's not even a question. If he says tomorrow, babe, we're packing up because I got a job in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Guess what? My little hands are packing up and we're going to Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
this is the reason that I love. And if he's providing the lifestyle, I gotta go where he goes. I'm doing what he does.
Right.
That is my duty of being. Thank you. That is my duty. He's doing my duty of being. So again, if you want to be a wife, you got to consider, why do you want to be a wife? Do you want to be married if you want to be a wife? Because it's two different things.
Two different things.
It
Do
is.
you want to be married or do you want to be a wife? And if you want to be a wife and you are with a man of substantial means, there are caveats that come to being that man's wife.
Look here, even what was her name? We were talking about another Anna Nicole Smith. She
Yeah,
she
girl.
married
Oh,
that
yeah.
old man. He was about to die. But guess what? That man had some demands before he died. There was things that he had to do and provide and accomplish before he died and before he was willing to have her in his will so that she could inherit that money. Like, so, like, again, you can't be married and think you're not going to do anything that he wants. Like, that's ridiculous. Why would he marry you, or why would he even stay in that for one day once he figured out you operating on a completely different agenda? You just want access to my bank account.
Here's the thing. I will give it to white women when their mothers are raising them to marry men of substantial means. They're telling them what it takes to marry men of substantial means. In our community, we're not telling girls, because we're telling they can, girl, independent, strong black women, you got this. You tell him. I don't tell him nothing.
You don't need nobody.
And I am as independent and strong as they come. I don't tell him nothing. He does when he wants.
And the Queen B signed a prenup.
Oh, she signed that prenup.
Catherine Zeta-Jones signed a prenup. Meghan, the Duchess, signed a hell of a prenup. So for all of you out there that are all about I'm an independent woman, listen, I'm sure that the lifestyle and the relationships that we see from Meghan, Beyonce, Catherine Zeta-Jones, they all still married after years.
I'm Megan though, like I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna
get to it.
Well, like that royal family would be like, you about to get the hell out of here. You gonna sign this or you gonna go one or the other.
Like, that was an ironclad prenup that I guarantee was signed before they even started planning the wedding. Like,
to sue the country to move to America. So, you have no choice but to sign that.
So, you know, and we're going to wrap up, but I think the point that everyone is making here, and thank you guys for bringing this up, is you can't want the lifestyle more than you want the person.
Oh,
You can't want to be a wife without understanding what it takes to be a wife. Being a wife is not just signing a piece of paper. And there's a story I wanna quickly mention. We'll probably talk about it fully yesterday. But one of Akon's wives is going to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And if people don't know about Akon, he believes in multiple wives. Anyways, one of his wives came out and called the other wife a fake wife because according to her, she's legally married to him. Listen, white man's paperwork. Being a wife isn't going down to a courthouse or having a wedding and having somebody sign that. There are things that it takes to be a wife. And let me just be very clear, because I've been seeing all of these things where women are talking about we're wife material. You know who's going to tell me if I'm wife material? Him.
Thank you.
I'm not going to tell him I'm wife material. He's going to tell me if I'm his wife material. Women, stop going around saying I'm wife material because I'm independent and I'm strong and I'm beautiful. And if you can't bring that man no peace, Stephen Jackson's woman didn't bring him no peace at all.
as
She
I read
She made
somewhere,
that ball hung in the air for a month or 2 weeks or however long she want to say it was. What's wrong? You just had that sitting there lingering. Like,
sorry, Car wants to say something. Car, say it because it seems like it's important.
Oh no, I was just going to say that I read something somewhere, and it's so true. When a man is looking at a woman to be the wife, he is looking at her as the person that's going to raise his children, build his home. So he's not looking at your body, and he's not looking at your face to say, well, she better look like this 25 version of herself for the rest of her life. He is not looking at that. Your vibe, your energy, your attitude, all of these things that we talk a lot about on the show, it has to be present there, or it doesn't matter how pretty you are. You can be ugly.
It happens. There's a lot of different looking women who have great husbands because they're
women that aren't the stereotypical beauty, but they are so good at being wives and moms.
That's it.
No. And y'all got me thinking on the flip. This is kind of shade at, some successful men and women. Y'all have to understand the difference. Like, every successful man don't really want a wife either. Some of them just want accessories. Like, some guys do expect you to look like you're 25 for the rest of their life. That guy is going to upgrade every 5 or 10 years or so. In Hollywood, you can see certain guys like that. I'm not going to say that behavior, but as a woman, you got to screen that out in that man and know that he's not really with you for those other reasons. He's with you purely because you're a Victoria's Secret model. And when you no longer are a Victoria's Secret model, you are no longer the accessory that he requires you to be. And he's going to get a new version. The 2022 come out next year. You're going to get that one. But not every successful, high value man, whatever, looks at it like that. Some men do want a wife. But also it's like, if you already built like Emmett Smith, he's like, damn, how's she going to have 3 kids? And that's what Kevin be talking about when he be going ham sometimes. Like, that's why guys want, you to be fit going into it, because he know babies change your body. Babies is going to put weight on you. Babies is going to do those things. He's not going to run off. And like, most men are comfortable with that baby weight situation. You know what I'm saying? Except for the shallow dudes. Them the dudes that want you back looking like you're 25 again. That guy, he's always, he's never going to have a long-term relationship.
And you cannot be a wife to someone who doesn't want one. So I'm sorry. All these women out there, I had to bring it up, and I know we got to go, but I had to bring it up because I've been seeing it more and more on these little talk shows. And there was one the other day where this woman, she was maybe in her 20s, and she was going off about how she was a wife. And I was like, what? Why are women telling men what it takes for, like, don't men choose wives? So should a man be telling you what he needs in a wife? And again, none of what she said was, I bring a man peace, I bring a man solace, I add value to his life.
Yo, I've heard that interview. She wouldn't even have got a job with her interview in that thing. She talked for 5 minutes. I don't know what the hell she was talking about. The whole thing. What she talking about? Like, it was like, what are you talking about? Like,
being married and being a wife are very different. So we're going to do some final words before we go, because it's been a show. Thank you for everybody who's been patient with us. Because sometimes we just be confused by the internet and what the internet's about, because the state of affairs is, it's just very interesting to me right now. Going even back just quickly to people saying 11,000 a month is not enough, and it's anyways,
it's enough for me. I'll take it.
So my final word is this. I heard a lawyer say, as I was watching Britney versus Spears documentary on Netflix, he said that it's funny, people that are the conservatory people in conservatorships, they never have jobs. They never have jobs because they know very well that they plan on paying themselves first before anyone else. And I want to bring that down to what we're talking about today. Women, don't use your exes or your former, husbands, whatever. Do not use them as a way to pay your bills, per se. Use the money for what it is meant for, which is to take care of those children and raise them right. Because you've been found out. People know. If $11K isn't enough for you and 3 small children, you have to start budgeting. Look at how you are spending this money, because you are no longer his wife, so you're not going to get the glitz and glam anymore. You're no longer his girlfriend. So be grateful and happy for what you got. Use what you got and make the best of it.
Girl, that was good. I like that. My takeaway, honestly, ladies, stop capping. Stop capping and find some new friends. Your broke ass friends are making you even more broke. You could have had a baller. You had a rich man who was gonna be there for you, and you decided to listen to your broke ass friends who also took it upon themselves to go party with your now ex fiance / groom. So just stop capping and stop listening to your broke ass friends. That's my takeaway.
I'm dead, because I was going to say something similar. Stop determining what qualities you have that should make you a wife, and listen to the men that you want to be made a wife, and date with intention. Because a lot of this is not dating with intention. I'm sorry, a woman out there with 5 kids and 3 of them and DNAs was questionable. I don't think that was dating with intention. So you can't get mad when the man is out doing that because you weren't dating with intention. When you date with intention, it is a whole different scenario. That's all I'm going to say.
That part.
For me, I've just been thinking, it's a simple concept, ladies. She can do a million things that she wants to do for me. And that's irrelevant, because I'm looking at what I want her to do for me.
Amen.
Y'all feel me?
That's it. All of that.
Love it.
All of that. Tell. Tell the people what's up.
Live, we were having fun, y'all. But we did have a great show today. Thank you guys so much for listening and for watching. Don't forget to find us on our Facebook, on our Instagram right here. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, all under the name Not Your Typical Girl Talk. I am Telly. This is Perkia. This is Robbie Rob. This is Shiva. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to Radio Regent, syndicated through iHeartRadio. Listen to our podcast, because y'all, listen, this is it today, but trust, Netflix is going to come knocking on our door. And y'all going to be like, oh, I remember when they were on IG, and now here's the 4th of July, walking the red carpet. Yes, y'all, it's coming. It's coming. It's grabbing all that goodness. I don't know what you're doing right now, but okay, well, you know what? We're going to do it now.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you have any show ideas, please make sure you're hitting us up in our DMs or notyourtypicalgirltalk@gmail.com. Bye.